Robert, we are seeing some rebounding in a number of sectors, but with the reopenings not happening in a number of states, how do you see the economy moving forward for the rest of the summer and into the fall?
Well, Susan, we did get a lot of good data for June, but as you said, these are very unsettled conditions. And the way I think of the data, I think of it as the June data as bookended, because the reason why the June data is looking better is because April and May was so bad. And then looking forward, as you pointed out, we see the rise of coronavirus in a number of states again, and a number of states are pulling back on their reopening and either canceling or reversing. And so I am expecting the data to level out and over the next few months and not look as good late summer and the fall.
Well, let's talk about retail sales for June. They continued to accelerate. Where did we see the growth?
Well, that was all the consumer discretionary stuff, the stuff that we didn't have to buy in March and April. Things like furniture, things like electronics, automobiles. So if you didn't have to buy it, but you still wanted it, that meant you have pent-up demand. And so you got some confidence, you got some money, some income coming in. And so in June, you spent out that pent-up demand, or we did collectively, and we saw a nice jump up in retail sales.
Robert, we saw a big jump in housing starts for June. Could that be an ongoing trend?
Well, Susan, that 17% jump or 17 and change in housing starts, I don't think that'll continue to that magnitude, but it does show that housing still has the potential, I think, to be a leading part of the U.S. economy, pulling us out of the coronavirus recession. We've got mortgage rates going very, very low, historically low. And as I said, we have pent-up demand out there. And so I am expecting builders to continue to respond to this. They're not going to get in front of the market, though. I think these are times to be a little bit cautious and to see what do buyers really want? Where do they want to live? What kind of houses? So I'm glad to see housing come back up, both in housing starts and permits. But I don't think we're going to see the huge acceleration from here until we see some real confidence out there and we start to feel like there's a light at the end of the coronavirus tunnel.
Robert, industrial production was also up in June, and it looks like the auto industry was driving, no pun intended, most of that.
Oh, you stole my favorite pun. That's what we always say about the autos driving industrial production. So yes, all manufacturing components were up. Very nice to see that, very healthy. In line with the ISM manufacturing index and other purchasing managers indexes. So manufacturing coming back, and again, a nice rebound to see in June. We're going to have to watch this going forward because, again, the risk is right now with rising coronavirus cases that states will start to have to roll back some of the openings that they've had, and that could put another weight on the economy late summer into fall. Now, two important things coming up. One, we have the Federal Reserve meeting at the end of this month, expecting no change in interest rates there. And then beyond that, we have Congress talking about another fiscal stimulus package. And I am expecting to see another fiscal stimulus package put together, maybe something in the range of $2 trillion plus or minus, depending on what the House and the Senate work out.